Hey guys, Madman coming back to you today with another Warframe video. Today we're going to be talking a little more generalized stuff as we discuss what the Warframe community, more extensively the Reddit community, wants out of DE and Warframe in 2023. Now, initially I was not intending to make a post or make a video on this topic. But then as I kind of started to put these things together and see kind of what everybody wanted, I thought this would make a really, really fun video. And so we decided, without further ado, let's jump into the 5 things in no specific order that the Reddit community wants from Warframe in 2023. Now, Warframe, we can all admit Warframe had a big year in 2022, brought out a bunch of awesome new stuff, and one of the big stories that came out of last year was the fact that the DE team was being split, one half to work on Soulframe, the other half to work on Warframe. Now, this is really the first big year that these guys have been in charge, and I think a lot of people have lofty hopes, myself included. So these are the 5 things that the Reddit community requested. Some of these I can see, some of them I think probably won't, but we'll see. So the first thing is raids. Raids were a big thing back in the game. Apparently pre-2016, that's when I started playing, and the raids had already been removed. Now, from what everybody says that I've talked to, the raids were super buggy, didn't work well, just overall didn't have a good feel. Now, ultimately, I think DE has learned a lot in the years since, and I'd like to see them add this for a couple of reasons. The first of which is that it would provide some end-game content and really kind of unite a lot of things that I think Warframe is attempting to do. Raids are a great concept in any game if done correctly, and I think Warframe really lends itself to that being a thing. I'm trying to think of the right wording there, but raids could work very well in Warframe if given the right treatment. Raids, like I ultimately I want it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a cool concept that was not done or hasn't been done lately. And because it hasn't been done lately, I think it lends itself to allowing Warframe to do them again. And with crossplay and all that stuff that's come, I think that it definitely has the player base now that it may not have had previously requesting these things. So yes, raids were one of the top requested things on the list. Number 4, I guess you could call it number 4. Like I said, no specific order on this. But the next thing on the list is the Duvari Paradox expansion. Now, we know this is coming. This is not a secret. This is not a surprise. We know this is coming. We just don't specifically know when. Myself, I believe we're going to get the Duvari Paradox before March. If you are watching this video at a later date, this was recorded at the end of January. This list started to get assembled at the beginning of the year. So we're talking, a couple months out, roughly, is where I think we find the Duvari Paradox. So the thing with the Duvari Paradox that I think is dope is it's another open world. It adds what appears to, from the trailers that were shown, adds some roguelike elements to the game, which is super cool. And then you also get a new mount, which is the horse. Everybody's all jonesing about the horse, and I'm not mad about it. The horse looks really fucking cool. This is the one thing on this list I think, I can guarantee you is coming this year, and I think is going to come sooner rather than later. Now, the next thing on our list kind of goes hand in hand with that, and kind of goes hand in hand with number 1 when you think about it, and that is cross-save. Now, toward the end of the year, last year, we did get more or less full cross-play support. We're still missing a couple of key features at the time of recording, like a friends list, cross-platform friends list, and cross-trade is another big one that I really would like to see them implement. If they're going to do cross-save, I think cross-trade works. So that's something else I think we need in the game. But overall, cross-play works well. I have been able to play with people on the Xbox, the PC, the Switch, all at the same time. So cross-play functionality works decently well. No crashes, no bugs to report, no issues that I can speak of. But cross-save is a whole nother beast. Cross-save is a lot more complicated, especially when you have consoles, and I say this as a Sony fanboy. You have consoles like Sony that don't necessarily want to play ball. Now, they've gotten better, but games like Smite, you still have this problem. And that, I found that out the other day. So I'm hoping Sony doesn't hold up the issue with going ahead and allowing a full-fledged cross-save. We want it, we need it, and I think it would be in the best interest of the game to allow it. So cross-save is another one of those that I believe is coming in the year 2023. I think that it's going to be a very interesting, reflective moment when it does. I think that it's going to allow a complete continuity with all of the players. And I think that that's one of the reasons it was one of the most widely requested things in terms of features that people wanted to see added to Warframe in 2023. Now, the next couple of these, one of these is generalized, one of them is more direct. We're going to start with the more direct one as we get into the final two, that being the Railjack expansion. Now, if you have not played Railjack yet in the game, you're missing out. Railjack is phenomenal. It is just a ton of fun. A lot of people say that it's buggy, it's glitchy. I personally have never had a problem with Railjack other than the fact that the content is, at this point, lacking. And it launched with a lot of stuff to do, but in true DE style, they never really got it off the ground or took it further off the ground. They dropped it, and we're like, oh, look, here's something else we can do. So what I'd like to see this year, personally, and apparently I'm not the only one, and that makes me happy, I'd like to see a full-fledged Railjack expansion come to Warframe in 2023. Now, I think this could be done a number of ways, but I definitely think the reason that it needs to happen is it makes sense from a story perspective. If you think about it, some of the situations that we found ourselves in as 10-0 have really offered up the option for a Railjack to be used. And I think expanding out the Railjack with another faction like the Infested, as I fight them here, which is ironic, and new mission types really would add a whole new element to Railjack and would bring people back in. So DE, I don't know that you'll ever see this, but if you do, can we get at least one more, if not a couple more Railjack expansions? And while you're at it, can we just continue to update Railjack as part of the main core game? Now, can we incorporate Railjack, please? This is yeah. We all want it. Give us what we want, please. I'm asking at this point. Just give us what we want. So the last one of these things on the list is a more generalized one, and realistically is not that surprising. But it's generalized because of the nature of what it is. And that last thing on this list, hold on, before we get there, do me a favor. If you like what we're doing, click the like button, hit that subscribe button. You've hung out this long, would really appreciate it. We drop all kinds of new Warframe videos all the time, and we do Warframe streams. So would love to have you there as part of that community. So hit that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell So let's talk number one. Not even, I won't even say number one, though this probably was the most requested thing, so maybe it is number one. But that is frame and weapon reworks. Now, the reason I say this is generalized is because it seemed like every single person had a reason they wanted X to be reworked. The name I saw thrown around a lot was Oberon and Inaros. Now, if you watched my previous video about the 4 starter frames, and read the comments, the Inaros sparked some debate. Because according to everybody, Inaros is really just garbage. And I disagree with that, but that's beyond the point. Everyone has their opinions. But the one thing I think I can agree on is the fact that a lot of these older frames do need to be tweaked. And I say this because there are frames, as we continue, hell, we just got frame 51 in Baruna. Like, come on. We got 51 different frames. Somebody's going to outperform the others. It's a fact of life. And if you've gotten to that point, some of your older frames need rework. You ain't got to redo their entire kits, but let's make them more viable. And one of the ones that comes to mind for me is Limbo. And then he's already gotten a bit of a tweak, but I think he still needs a little bit of work. And then the other one is going to be Rhino is a good one. Rhino is a tank frame. And, you know, Rhino's a core game player. And I'm a massive Rhino fan. But Rhino really doesn't keep up the way that he used to. So my question here is, can we find a way to make some of these older frames, older weapons more viable? Case in point, right now I'm rocking a Lavos and a Nadaruk. Now, I have a Corinth Prime that I play with. Enjoy it quite extensively. But that said, it doesn't do what this does. It just doesn't. And I just sit here and go, if we could get a way to create and upgrade these weapons so that they would be functional in the end game, I'd be a-okay with that. And that doesn't mean dropping ribbons in them or, you know, anything like that. They just need a little bit of tweaking. That's all. I don't know how you would tweak them off the top of my head. I haven't really thought about it. But yeah, just tweaking some of these guys and these weapons would be super helpful. I think that's the easiest way to approach that. So there are the 5 things that the Reddit community asked for from DE in 2023. Now, I can pretty much support this whole list. Honestly, I can. Because I think everything on this list has a viable reason for being on this list. And because that's the case, I think 3 out of the 5 of these we're going to get. I think 3 out of the 5 of these we're going to get this year. But there's a couple of them. I think we're going to get reworks. I think reworks are always going to happen. Just not sure if they're going to happen to what you want them to happen to. But the 2 that I have in question as far as that goes is going to be the raids and the Railjack expansion. While I want it, I don't know that we're going to get it. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching. There you have it. That's the extent of that. I appreciate it. Be sure to click again that like and subscribe button, as we are going to, next video, be working on trolls in Warframe. This is going to be the start of a generalized playlist where I can talk dev streams, updates to the game, TennoCon things, stuff like that. That's what this generalized stuff is for. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until the next time you decide to venture into the Origin system and take on the enemies, I am the Madman, wishing you a safe journey amongst the stars.